Hello. We are live from the Car-ffice. Meaning the car office. I am, yes, we are on the go today and all of the things. I'm actually outside of my daughter's gymnastics. And it's one of those days where we are okay. I'm going to share this into the Bling Boutique, into the group. I should put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Um, Yay! Live from the Car-ffice. This is the Car-ffice, everybody. In case you're curious, it's my super clean minivan. It is not clean whatsoever. But that's all right, you guys. Here we are. Hopefully you can hear me. Actually, I'm gonna test it out. I have my computer right beside me. I'm doing. Woo! We're live. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna give you guys a couple moments before you can be to hop on with me. We are. It's one of those days where I have activity after activity after activity, and it's just this is just the way it's supposed to be today. Is you get me live from my minivan. hmm Welcome to my minivan. My passenger seat is full of Melvin slobber and all sorts of things. So talk to me in the comment section. Hello, Amy. Thanks for joining me today. It is Talk About a Tuesday, where people post questions in my posts that go up that says, what kind of questions do you have about Park Lane, the way I run my business, all the things. And we have, let me see, looking at it now, we have 7 comments. Oh my goodness. All right, let's give a couple more people time to get on with me. So, hey, Kathy, hey, Jan, 7 comments. If you did not post a question and Talk About It Tuesday and you're live with me right now, you can put it in the comment section. And if you're like, Stacia, where are you? I'm in my Car-ffice. Car office. Car-ffice. That's where we're doing things today, you know? That's the way it is. Um, if you guys don't know me, I got 2 kids in elementary, 1 in middle school, and we're in gymnastics and it's track season. And so it's really like crazy how you gotta work on the go. And that's the beautiful part about this business, is that I totally can. I could take this anywhere I want to. So all right, Amy, you're a new stylist. All right. I have been a stylist for 18 years. Crazy. Crazy. So crazy. Yes, 18 years. Um it's been a wild ride. And that is one thing that I don't think I've told my story in a really long time. So Amy, you bring up a good point. Car-ffice. Yes, Kathy, it's a cute name. I agree with you. Hey, Linda. So when I started, I'll make this short, and then I'm going to get to the 7 questions people have in Talk About It Tuesday. I'm the crazy lady in the parking lot. I had to park close enough to the gymnastics place so my laptop picked up on the Wi-Fi. So, anyways, um, when I was introduced to a jewelry company, I did not wear any jewelry whatsoever. My girlfriend invited me over for a glass of wine, and she's like, "Oh yeah, and they're going to be showing jewelry," and I'm like, I'm not interested in the jewelry, um, but I'll come for the wine. So, I came for the wine. I ended up falling in love with the ring, and then of course the lady got me into hosting my own party. This is back where home parties were the thing to do. Hosted my own home party, mainly for the ring, and I personally, I love to have people over. Listen, at the time I was single. No, I was dating my husband, but I had my own house, had my own townhouse, no kids, no nothing, so it was easy to just have people over because it was just me and my roommate in my townhouse that I owned. And had people over, and she walked away from there saying like, "Hey, guess what? I'm making $300+ from your party." I'm like, "What? $300?" and you hung out, and I was like bringing in orders from people that couldn't come to the party, and I was like, wait a second, you barely did anything except show a bunch of jewelry, and you made $300. Like, that sold me right there, because it wasn't the jewelry, it was the fact it was minimal work, and she brought in a good chunk of change. I mean, imagine 18 years ago what $300 does for you at the grocery store now obviously is different than what it did back then, but it's still significant, right? It's still a significant difference. So I said, I need to do this. So that started my journey. And, throughout the many 18 years, Parkling, I did the direct sale company with three other jobs, a full-time job, two other part-time jobs, and the jewelry business. And I was able to work it out, right? Like, when I was so incredibly busy with my other jobs, full-time, my two part-time jobs, I was just really good at working a calendar, and I knew, like, okay, this week I have Friday night open. I can do a party on Friday night. Next week I have Wednesday night open. I could do a party on Wednesday night. And so I knew exact days that I was able to squeeze a party in, even though I was working a full-time job and two part-time jobs. Like, because those part-time jobs sometimes were during the day, sometimes they were nighttime. Sometimes I would go to my full-time job, go to my part-time job, and then run off and do a party. This is, listen, I didn't have kids, right? Didn't have kids, didn't have a husband at the time, just dating my boyfriend, who now is my husband. But yeah, and throughout the years I've been able to leave all those jobs because I wanted to, right? I wanted to raise my kids at home. Didn't want to have to do daycare if I didn't have to, although we did a teeny bit of daycare just for socialization. And um from there, like, I would say the last 5 years has really skyrocketed my business, and it's been absolutely amazing. So, um, and now I have three kids, a giant dog, and a husband who works crazy hours, which is why it's just been nuts at my house. So yeah, so hey, okay, we're hopped on. All right, let's get to these questions, my friends. Um, all comments on this post here. Let me see them. All right, let's see, what kind of questions do you have for me, Jan? What piece has been the current core catalog the longest? Jan, what a great question. What piece in the current core catalog has been there the longest? Okay, I'm going to give you 4, 5 pieces that have been around forever. Okay. The whisper earrings, they've been around forever. The flare bracelet, cherish bracelet. There's a necklace called Pearl, and I believe that one's been around for a really long time, as well as um prayer necklace, I believe. The prayer necklace as well. And then uh the Unite ring has been around a really long time. But I don't know about the longest. But the whisper earrings, for sure. I remember them being around when I started. So yeah, there you go. All right. Amy loves my story. Oh, there's much more to the story. I cut it short. Cindy, how many pieces of jewelry do you think you own? Oh my gosh, Cindy, I have no idea. Because I own one of everything in the catalog, right? And plus extras of bracelets, because I love to piece together extra bracelets. Like, I love to piece together the Carefree bracelets. I have 2 sets of those for myself, because I'll take the beaded ones and wear all the beaded ones together. Hey Nancy, thanks for joining. And all of the things. So that's a really hard. I don't even know. So Cindy, I can't answer your question. How many pieces do I own of jewelry? All right, Regina, if you were just starting, what advice would you give to build a clientele? Regina, that's a great question. If I was just starting in this business, I would suggest to you what I did, because it was told to me that when I first started, they said make a Frank's list. And a Frank's list is just a list of people that's friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids, spouses. And it's just a random list of people, okay? Makes you think outside your box. And you can even break it into different categories, like list 5 relatives, list 5 neighbors, list 5 blah blah blah, you know? But you make a giant list of people, okay? I'm going to be brutally honest with you. When you start this business, your family is not the ones to go to. Don't. Um, and it's interesting, it's listen, I'm a big family person. I love my family, but I'm not going to lie to you. Um, my mom will admit it. It took her like probably 4 or 5 years before she actually had a show for me, before she actually had a party. So my cousin has never had a party for me, the one that lives local to me. She's bought for me maybe twice in my 18 years. And this is not me complaining, it's just what it is. My aunt has maybe bought for me once or twice. Of course, I spoil my mom. She helps me out, run events and all sorts of stuff. But it's when it comes to building your clientele, people who bring people are like your best bet. So, for example, if you ask your neighbor to come or look at the catalog, you encourage your neighbor to be like, okay, do you know somebody who loves jewelry? How about your best friend? How about you? And that's how you get outside the circle. So you think about your core group of people. I would make a circle with both my hands, but I only have one available. And you make connections with those core people, but then you ask those core people to help you out. And when they host their own parties, you ask them, like, okay, don't just invite your neighbors. Also invite people from other circles, people from your church circle, people from your school circle, people from your kids' circles. You know what I mean? And that way it just helps your rubber band stretch even farther. And as you build your clientele and as you build your relationships with people, and this is a big relationship job. Like, I don't even want to call it a job, but you build relationships with people, they trust you, and then they want to do business with you, right? And so, um, you that's what I would suggest building clientele is. You need to make your list and you need to start just chatting with people like, hey, I'm starting off this business. I would really love to show you some jewelry. And that's it. Hey, can I ask you and some friends meet up for coffee and I can show you like 5 pieces of jewelry and get your opinion on it? Simple. And like seriously like that. Just hey, I would love your opinion on these. New pieces that just dropped. And then you bring some pieces that, you know, and then you show them to people and then you just start inching your way out and you keep asking for referrals. You keep asking for people to bring their friends to check out the website with them. So um, hey Tanya, hey Janine. Janine's asking me a question here. How do you make sure that you don't take customers from other salespeople? That's a great question, Janine. Okay, so when new people start to join my bling boutique, I kind of look to see who their mutual friends are. And if they're friends with other stylists, I message them and be like, I flat out tell them I do not want to step on any other stylist toes. Um, and I don't want to step on any stylist toes. So if somebody is connected with a stylist already, like I, you know, I just make it very, very known, like I'm not here to steal anybody's people. But in another breath, people have a choice as to who they want to shop with, right? So that's their personal choice. So, um, Kathy, people in my family like me because I buy stuff. Yeah, see, there you go. All right, moving on to the next. Tanya, how do you find out about vendor events that you attend? Do you research the area to see who has events? Is there a cost for you to attend the event? Yes and no, yes and no. Um, so vendor events, sometimes I get leads for them. Sometimes I'll get referrals like, hey, somebody is hosting a vendor event. They would love you to be participate in it. Typically, there's always a cost associated with that, but that's a write off for me. So, um, yeah, like when I sign up for a vendor event, um, I find out there's certain questions I ask because I have been doing the business for so many years, like 18 years. I have been to I've run it all the gamuts. I've been at the vendor events where it's been a huge basketball or two basketball courts filled filled with vendor after vendor after vendor. I've been to those before. I've done those before. Sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not because people walk in there and they only have so much money, right? And so, like, by the time they make it to the 60 some off booth, they might not have anything to spend with you or whatever. So, but sometimes those events, though, are great to build your clientele, like we were talking about earlier, Janine, or not Janine, Regina was asking that. So those events aren't necessarily a waste. Sometimes you got to go in there the mindset like, okay, I might not make any sales today, but I might make a bunch of connections. Like one of my huge vendor events, like the one I described to you just there, I met somebody who was able to hook me up with doing a pop-up boutique at 3M corporate, and that was such an amazing thing to do. I did it all the way up until COVID happened, and it was so absolutely incredible because I could pop up shop at 3M corporate for 2 to 3 days straight, once every month, and it was absolutely wonderful. But once COVID hit, obviously that ended, and they just didn't quite bring it back. You know, the in office looks just a little bit different, and that's how I met Jessica, who's on here right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, so you never know who you're going to meet at those vendor events. But yeah, sometimes they cost me money, and I look at how much they're going to cost, how many people are going to be there, how many jewelry vendors are going to be there. You know what I mean? Like it all just kind of depends. But once in a while, I get vendor events where I don't have to pay a fee. But if I do, that's okay, you know, because it's a write off. Um, Everything is a write off, my friends. Yes, Jessica met me at 3M. All right, let's see. Um, Jessica, what piece of jewelry do I find myself gravitating to and why? Listen, Jessica, here's where you and I get along great. The cocoa hoops are amazing. I love statement earrings. I usually always go for statement earrings. And I gravitate also rings. Like I find myself wearing the Phoebe ring all the time and the fawn ring all the time. Like those are so great. But yeah, I usually go for big earrings, small necklace. That's kind of what I gravitate towards a lot of the times. But and I love a good dangle, love a good hoop. So yeah, Jessica, you need these. What are you waiting for? Okay. Let's see. Two more questions. Lori, do you read any self-help books to help you with your business? Either managing it or a mindset or a sales capacity. What books have helped? Great question. Um, there is a wonderful book that we have. Okay, well, let me back up. So, Mary Grace, my upline, she sometimes does a book club for us that we kind of study a book together, and it's usually a John Maxwell book. Um, there are great John Maxwell books that are good for us as leaders and other things like that. There's a daily, I forget what it is. Daily motivation is something from John Maxwell that I used to read every single day. Like it'd be a new something every single day, to help me with my mindset and my business. But there's also a little book called The Go Giver. And I love The Go Giver because The Go Giver gives you basically breaks down like just ways to give back and just give and not expect anything in return. Because I think with that kind of a mindset, you really do go far in business in general. Um, because it's just you lead with generosity, right? And so that's another great, really great one too. Let's see. But we do a lot of John Maxwell stuff. He's just really great. Um, I have some other books. So if you really want specific books, Lori, send me a DM and I'll get you some names. Kathy, do you mind the travel for party events, etc., and hauling all the jewelry? No, I don't mind at all. Because you guys remember I told you I have 3 kids. Okay, 3 kids. And so when I get to drive a little bit of a ways in the car for a jewelry party or any of that, I get quiet time in my car. I get quiet time in my car. I get time to talk to. That's usually when I call my best friend who lives down in Nashville. I actually get a conversation with her uninterrupted. And yeah, I don't mind the drives. I don't like. I have a teammate that's just down in Iowa that I plan on driving down there in like at sometime hopefully in May and doing an in-person event for her. And she's only like 2.5 hours away or 2 hours away, if that. Um, and you're talking to a girl that born and raised in Montana. We drove everywhere. So, and I grew up driving from Minnesota to Montana all the time, sometimes twice a year, like, 10.5 hour drives. And now we do those drives with our kids. They expect them. They don't mind the long car rides. So like I'm used to them. And so I don't mind the drive. It's kind of peaceful. Okay. But and I don't mind hauling the jewelry because listen, it can pack up really small. You know, I just worry about forgetting something. So, and I'm reading your comments, Kathy. You give a lot. Yeah, I do give a lot because you guys give a lot. And that's the thing. Like, I'm okay. I'm gonna end this soon, but like that's the thing about the go giver attitude and just the generosity. And in my eyes, I get so much from my company. They are so incredibly generous with us as stylists. They're so incredibly generous with the customers, the sale programs, the hostess rewards, all of the things, all the programs that a stylist are in, our rich rewards programs where we're able to earn free jewelry every single month. And all of the things that, and then we can earn other incentives as well. I figure why shouldn't I give some of that back to you guys? Because you guys are helping me hit all those goals, right? That I do want to give back. So, and as you bring new people into my circle, which that's one thing that I would love to have more of is that bring more people into my circle, introduce more people to me. Like if you're getting compliments on your jewelry and you say, "Hey friend, you just complimented me on my cocoa earrings. I have somebody that you need to watch and come check out her page." And then just share that contact, be a really awesome referral. And of course, like I'm going to give back to you for sharing. Like it means the world to me because I would not be where I am in my business if it wasn't for you guys, right? That's the bottom line. So, all right. Well, that was Talk About It Tuesday, you guys. Let's see. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm thinking of what's on my calendar for Wednesday. And if I'm going to have to do an early live or if I can do 5 o'clock live. I don't know. You'll have to just watch. But remember, the comment drawing this week, you guys, is my smart speaker is going to pick a random day of the week. And that's the day I'm going to look at the comments and pick a winner from that particular day. So always talk to me on my lives. If you talk to me on your lives, you know you're in my comment drawing for the next week. All right. Okay, everybody. Well, that's it. Let me know if you need any hookups of jewelry, a cart, or anything fantastic. If you're interested in browsing, the links in the description. And I am always here to help make a cart for you if you are looking to get the best deal on your jewels. So, all right, friends. See you later.